My husband Jack revealed Andy's prenuptial agreement upon receiving his inheritance, declaring, "I don't need a life with you anymore. I'm inheriting $5 million. I don't need you when I have that money." His cold words signaled the demise of our marriage after years of living together. I felt like a mere obstacle in his pursuit of wealth, but he remained oblivious to the significant secret tied to the $5 million inheritance. "Mom, is it true that Grandpa is in critical condition?" My daughter Sophie's unexpected question caught me off guard. Jack's father had a serious health problem, and the information was supposed to be a secret between Jack and me. "Did you get that information from your dad?" The only one who could have told Sophie was Jack. "Yes, and on a call from Dad, he told me to renounce Grandpa's inheritance." Sophie's words unsettled me. With a single phone call, my peaceful life was about to be shaken. A few days after Sophie's revelation, Ethan passed away peacefully. Since getting married, I had lived with Jack's parents, providing unwavering support during their health struggles. It had been 5 years since Jack's mother passed away, and now with Ethan's passing, the funeral went smoothly. Yet just as I thought I was free from tension, Jack's behavior underwent a dramatic change. "What are you doing here? Why hasn't it been cleaned properly lately?" Jack frequently pointed out minor dust and small stains. "I'm sorry. I must have missed it. I'll clean it right now." However, the issue wasn't just about cleaning. "Why are you serving this? I wish you'd paid more attention to the taste when you cook." Even the dishes he used to enjoy were now unappreciated. "Is there something bothering you lately?" I gathered the courage to ask, but it only worsened his mood. "It's useless to deny it. To be honest, the food you make isn't good. I've been tolerating it because my parents never complained, but I've always felt its tastelessness deep down." Jack's words pierced my heart, marking the first time he had criticized me so severely. My mom always cleaned and did laundry perfectly, and at mealtimes she cooked with care without cutting corners. "You're nothing like her. I've been patient, but I can't stand it any longer." This was the first time he compared me to his mother and criticized me. All I could do was deeply reflect on myself. "I'm truly sorry. I couldn't have imagined that he valued my cooking so little." Kiss started to flow uncontrollably, and the pieces the clear. "Do you think anything will change if you cry? But your tears mean nothing now." Just the door behind him as he walked away. I called out, "Jack, where are you going?" "I'm back." But it seemed he didn't hear me. My mind was in turmoil, unable to comprehend this sudden change. Until a few months ago, we were a couple sharing everything, holding hands, and navigating life's challenges together. I couldn't understand how we had become so distant. And then I remembered. The call from Sophie revolved around Ethan's inheritance. There was a hint of hesitation in Sophie's voice that night. Jack arrived home much later than usual, and I missed the chance to inquire about it. So I wondered if Jack had discovered information about the inheritance and chose to keep it to himself. Attempting to approach Sophie, I questioned why they were discussing inheritance while Grandpa was still in good health. Sophie expressed doubts about Jack's actions and mentioned conveying the same concerns to him. Considering Sophie's words about the inheritance falling into her hands if not divided differently, I couldn't help but recall Jack's recent cold behavior towards her. The thoughts crept into my mind. Was he planning to take all the inheritance and abandon me? This thought tightened my chest and tears welled up once again. It's in my pain. I became acutely aware of the sounds around me. As the room felt eerily silent, the phone rang suddenly, echoing throughout. Though I didn't feel up to answering, considering the importance. I checked the caller ID. It was Jack's name, the same Jack who had left the house earlier. Answering felt tiresome, but I didn't want to face any backlash for ignoring it, so I hesitantly picked up. "What are you doing?" "Don't keep me waiting. I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time." His sudden authoritative tone caught me off guard. He was indeed stubborn at times, but yelling without reason was unlike him. Shocked by his changed demeanor, I let out a slight sigh, hoping he wouldn't notice. "What's wrong? Is there a problem?" they asked. "I have something to talk about. I'll be home soon. Stay home and wait for me." His voice sounded noticeably colder than before. I replied with a brief okay and promptly hung up, slowly looking at the clock. I realized more than 3 hours had passed since Jack went out. Overwhelmed with confusion and pain, I hadn't noticed the time. After a while, I heard the door open and Jack's footsteps, though a sweet scent of body wash, one we didn't use at home, wafted from him. And that unfamiliar smell intensified the pain in my chest. "I'll be straight. It's over. I want to end our relationship." As a token of gratitude, I'll give you $220,000. I'm genuinely tired of you not managing things at home. I want to live peacefully in my old age, he declared. Linda, who had dreamt of a peaceful old age, now faced the shattering of that dream by none other than Jack. "Where are you?" Her words trailed off as she searched for what to say. Jack looked at her with a smug smile. At that moment, a bright ringtone from Jack's cell phone filled the room, an unfamiliar tone different from his usual one. To Linda, it felt like this unusual sound hinted at communication from a specific individual. "I'm sorry, but I haven't finished my errands yet." Linda sensed a slight softness in Jack's voice, different from how he usually sounded towards her. It felt somewhat kinder and more intimate. Furthermore, the sweet scent of body wash, the unique ringtone, and the change in tone hinted at something he might be hiding. Linda knew it, whispered quietly. After ending his call, Jack looked down at Linda with emotionless, cold eyes. "My intentions haven't changed. I want you to sign this document. I'll contact you later. Make sure to have it signed by then. I don't plan to come back to this house. Remember, this house is now yours." Without uttering another word or even looking at my face, Jack headed towards the door. What did our long marital life of 40 years mean? A few days later, I found myself at a lawyer's office gathering information about Jack's actions and Ethan's inheritance. When I explained it to our daughter Sophie, her complexion changed. It was painful to reveal our mistakes to our daughter, but out of love for me, Sophie shed tears and showed strong determination to confront Jack. She introduced me to a lawyer to support us. "Hello, I am Robinson. I will be handling your case. I will support you to the best of my ability." The woman named Robinson, sitting across from me, seemed to be in her late 40s, exuding a calm aura. Her neatly groomed hair and professional attire provided reassurance. "I'm truly sorry for approaching you suddenly. My name is Lily Johnson. I'm a bit nervous, since it's our first meeting under such circumstances." "That's all right. I've already received some information from Sophie," Robinson assured me. Based on what I'd researched and the information Robinson separately gathered, we verified the fact. My husband didn't have any siblings, so if Sophie renounced the inheritance, the substantial fortune of about $5 million would all go to him. We also uncovered an important fact about his affair with a woman named Jennifer through joint investigation. "How do you intend to proceed from here?" Mrs. Robinson asked in a gentle tone and soft eyes. "Thank you from the bottom of my heart," I said, appreciating her. After exchanging fees and a brief discussion, I quietly left the office. 5 days later, I received a call from Jack proposing a meeting at a quiet cafe. I arrived a bit earlier, choosing a seat by the window to enjoy the calm outside view. When Jack and his new girlfriend Jennifer walked in, he smirked with a sense of pride. "Are you prepared for the divorce?" I was a bit surprised that this was his first statement. It seemed he's convinced he's in full control. "Is this your new associate?" I hadn't expected him to bring her to such an important discussion, and I was astonished at his decision. I wondered if he was the man I once deeply loved, or had he changed because he cheated, or was he always like this? I couldn't tell. "Are you Jack's wife, right?" "My name's Jennifer. I've recently started dating him," she said. Her sudden smile left me grappling to grasp its meaning. "I've read a lot about you from Jack. Seeing you in person, you too look a bit aged. I wonder how Jack endured all these years. I feel a little sorry for him." It's approached age. Jennifer seemed to take great care of her appearance, looking much younger than her actual age in her 60s. Compared to her, I might look my age, but I couldn't accept the way she phrased it. "And Jennifer, it's those tendencies of yours I warned you about. But indeed, if it were me, I would cherish you more," she continued. "I know. Linda, I don't want you to overthink it anymore. I just want you to file the divorce papers." Like interjected. I was taken aback by Jack's expected attitude. "Hold on. There's something I want to discuss." A hint of confusion was evident on Jack's face. "What are you getting at? Is it all about your father's inheritance? Is that why? After all our years of marriage, you're deciding this." I wanted to know the truth behind all these events. "I can't see how my father's inheritance, and you are related. That's solely my father's. I've heard detailed stories about your father's vast inheritance from Sophie. I know how much it's worth." "So what? That inheritance isn't for you to take." But I'll answer. Actually, more than the inheritance itself, the end of taking care of my parents is one of the reasons I want to part with you. Just a caregiver role? How had Jack seen me only as a caregiver and not the loving wife I used to be? I didn't even have the energy to cry. Can we speed this up? I'm suspicious. I want to start a new life. Besides, have you still not let go of Jack? Don't make me repeat myself. I'm not thinking of a new start with you now. I want you to file the divorce papers. Waves of emotion struck my heart with intense anger and deep sadness. My hand quivered slightly. Taking a deep breath, I pulled out the divorce papers, but my name isn't written yet. The situation isn't settled yet. To hand it over, they asked, "You remember promising me the house and money, right?" "Yeah, I did say that. I'm a man of my word, so I plan to give you the house and money." His response surprised me. "You say you're kind. But a truly kind person wouldn't just use their wife as a mere caregiver and then abandon her. So I'm demanding rightful compensation of $30,000 and the rights to the house." Which was compensation. When we talked about money, it was supposed to be $20,000. You always nitpick at the very end. Your attitude of trying to pay me the absolute minimum is so obvious. But the difference of $10,000 means a lot to me, so I think $30,000 as compensation is fair. Your girlfriend, it's Jennifer, right? I have thought of claiming from her too, but in lieu of that, I want to settle for $30,000. And I intend to sign the divorce papers right here in front of you. Unexpectedly, Jennifer commented, $30,000 should be fine. Actions. Pay it if you're satisfied with it. With her statement, Jack finally accepted the alignment of $30,000. Now we need Jack's signature on the land title change document. Mrs. Robinson prepared and the notarized alimony agreement. Jack looked surprised by my preparations, but I calmly said, "I have a life to continue too," easing his suspicions. We took out our respective seals, lined up at the designated spot, and Jack smiled as if he anticipated something. "So, Linda, will you sign the divorce papers right now?" Eating understood. I agreed, saying, "Here's the divorce paper," as I carefully wrote my name and firmly stamped it. Jack couldn't hold back his laughter and burst into loud guffaws. "With this, you and I no longer have any relationship. Also, I have something to tell you. Actually, I'm set to inherit $5 million, so I didn't need someone like you anymore. Thanks for the divorce. What a foolish ex-wife you had, letting go so easily for just $30,000. It's surprising." Behind me, as I left, the loud laughter of Jack and Jennifer echoed. I hurriedly left and headed to the city hall. My only goal now was to complete this procedure as quickly as possible and sever ties with the two of them completely. They might be laughing happily now, but I wondered how long their happiness would last. A month later, I quickly sold the house I received from Jack, prepared for a new life, and decided to live near my daughter Sophie, who planned to start her life near her husband's parents' home, since Jack's mother lived nearby. I thought there would inevitably be moments I'd feel cautious, which raised to my concerns. Sophie's husband warmly welcomed me and was always considerate, which I found very reassuring. My daughter Sophie seemed angry at Jack's actions at first, but when I told her a certain fact, her expression changed completely. And she smiled brightly. I had a hunch that Jack would soon realize my plan. As proof, I deliberately didn't change my mobile number. The day that intuition became a reality came sooner than I thought. From the afternoon, my mobile rang repeatedly, and sure enough, it was Jack. He called many times, but at first, I purposely didn't answer. After receiving repeated calls, I finally picked up. "Hello, why are you doing this?" I couldn't hide my surprise. "What's the matter? You called out of the blue, raising your voice. What's the problem? Where are you right now?" I thought he might have visited the house we used to live in. But in reality, that house had already been sold, and the new tenant might have moved in, or it could have become an empty lot. Considering this fact, the image of Jack's panicked demeanor surfaced in my mind, and I felt a little sorry for him. "Since we've decided to divorce, there's no need for you to be involved anymore. Where does Sophie go?" "I can't find her. It seems he went to Sophie's previous house." Of course, she wasn't there. I managed all the information and procedures related to Sophie's husband's family home, so Jack had no way of knowing. He seems to have hit a dead end and contacted me. "Yes, actually, Sophie has moved to a new place. Why didn't you tell me something so important? Moreover, did you know about that too? It seems my husband finally realized the truth." "By that, are you referring to the significant hidden debt that Ethan had?" Actually, when I investigated Ethan's inheritance in detail, I was shocked by the amount of the inheritance. But at the same time, I found out about a considerable hidden debt. Probably while he was alive, he estimated he could repay the debt with about $5 million and hid that fact from us. However, he passed away midway through repayment and the hidden debt was left neglected. And when you officially receive an inheritance, you are also obliged to inherit such hidden debts. Jack was blinded by the allure of easy money and neglected thorough verification and investigation. That was his big mistake. So, I have a question. Did you really know about my dad's debt? Big ask. Information is easy to come by. It becomes clear to anyone with a little search. That's why I noticed it. I imagined Jack turning red with anger on the other end of the phone. Anyway, what about the promised money? What about the money you intended to return? I had my suspicions, but his real goal was money after all. Besides, about that property, if I had known about my dad's debt from the beginning, I would have gotten involved at all. I understand how you feel. I thought it deep down, but I chose not to say it. But think about it, putting aside the money issue for a moment. You got to marry a very attractive woman, right? Isn't that pretty lucky? Of course. I don't know if Jennifer chose Jack because of his assets or if it was truly love. As soon as Jennifer found out about my debt, she left me. I thought she would. It's exactly as I expected. Linda, thinking about it, how about starting over with me? I feel deceived by Jennifer. I just realized now you're the person I really need. The tone of Jack's voice suddenly dropped and became emotional. I wondered if he had forgotten everything he did to me. I'm cornered every day. I'm being rushed by collectors, and the debt I can't repay is piling up. I'm at my limit. I really feel my life is in danger. Help me, please. Even after hearing his desperate plea, I calmly thought, if I were in this situation, would Jack help me? I carefully chose my words and took a deep breath before answering. Wait now. I'm living peacefully, and I'm truly satisfied, and in the days to come, I want to live in peace. You might have forgotten, but remember what was said at my response. Jack was momentarily lost for words on the other end of the phone. You mean back then? Yes, exactly. Actually, I'm really grateful that we were able to get divorced. Thank you for giving me a chance to choose a new path. I felt the tremor in Jack's voice and his tears, but for my future, I made up my mind and quietly ended the call. This marked the complete end of our relationship. I don't know how Jack's life is now or how he's repaying his debt, but I hope he's making an effort somewhere. Linda, how about taking a walk outside while looking at the beautiful scenery? Helps currently. I'm enjoying my days with a wonderful person I met through a hobby in Chicago. He's very warm and always with me. Spending time with him brings me unparalleled happiness,